said, blessed is he who gives and he who takes. If something happens around there, it means there must be a giving and there must be a taking. And in giving, if you do not, in receiving, if you do not give back, everything finishes at the end of the day. What am I talking about? When we get out of life, do we still bother to give back to life? Now, you're not going to give to God, like throwing up in heavens, but he says that whatsoever you do to the least of my brothers, you have done to me. A lot of us go to schools, a lot of us move away from our communities, and we're happy there. But when we have achieved something or even get to a better place, so to speak, we do not bother to look behind to see if we can make the same environment, recreate that same happiness for other people. That's our thrust for today's discussion, giving back. Now, when I say discussion, as usual, it's a beautiful and large house, and I have people who are, doing one thing or the other to give back to the society, and their voices must be heard today. Let me let you introduce yourself. I think I've talked too much. The good thing is I didn't bother to sing that song. It would have been a problem. All right.
Yeah, my name is Joy Benachi. I'm sure you know the face, so can't wait for us to discuss the issue this morning.
Definitely.
My name is Tokumbo Giwa Amu, and I'm here to convince you, not to confuse you. I won't be singing, but I'll be doing a lot of talking.
All right. I was listening to one lady who was talking about how you brought her back to life and all of that in a coaching activity you did.
Yes.
I think that was in September or August.
Yes, in August. Okay.
All right, well done on that.
Thank you.
And I get to...
I'm Adenike Adionju Sadolo. I'm Africa Regional Coordinator for TX Foundation and Executive Director Kindness for Kids Foundation. It's my pleasure to be here with Elizabeth and my friends here to discuss a very germane issue.
All right. TS Foundation is doing a whole lot, which we will be getting to unfold as we talk about. By the way, you're also a writer and
publisher.
Okay, a publisher. All right. So we'll take a little break now. When we come back, we will be going into the program directly. But just before the break, I would like to really get to find out again. You mentioned TX Foundation.
TX Foundation.
Can you explain what they really do for us?
Yes, TX Foundation is a private international philanthropic organization that I represent in Africa. Their focus is supporting disadvantaged communities, children with a learning-friendly environment, things that are important to the growth of the child. We find, and I'm amazed at the kind of impact that TX Foundation has made in Africa. We have worked in over 40 countries, supporting schools, providing toilets, providing good structures with appropriate, facilities for children to learn, giving the underserved and the underprivileged a hope and a future.
Wow. All right, I'll get to that school thing because it's for me it's very paramount because we all talk about alma mater. We have old boys, we have old girls association, and at the end of the day, what do we really do for these people? Sometimes things are done really, but a lot of times we use it to get to assess ourselves. Okay, me, I'm here, you're there, stuff like that. Is it really what it should be? But talking about giving back, at what point do we begin to give back? Who can give back? I think I'm interested in that because a lot of times we always believe that giving back must come from up down. Is it always like that?
Not really. Anybody can give back. I'll give you an example of my daughter. My youngest daughter comes around me. She's 13 now.
Okay, that's our PA.
Yes.
She's in school.
Sometimes she just says, Mommy, I feel like giving this person food. So it starts from that. And then, of course, you go older, and like you were talking about alma mater, sometimes you leave school and you're like, I don't want to go back to this school. This school was... You feel that as you get more mature, you realize that this is what formed me. I need to make this place good enough or even better for the next person coming. So it goes on like that. And even with your society, where you are, what you've learned, you want people to be better. You want your society and people around your environment to be known for more, you know, and so you start to think, what can I do? How can I help them? How will the situation get better for them? You know, build them up, not just planting things around. Build individuals.
Yes. So, and you talked about our peer, and I still want to push it back to the small ones. You know, when you give a child biscuits, for instance, some children will collect it. The same child, you say, give me a little, you say, you know, it's human nature, you know, to be selfish. But I think parents should begin at that point to make that child to understand that I give you a bit of this biscuit, give me a little bit back. It won't hurt. There is more from where it came from. Do you understand? Yeah. And a lot of times, again, I noticed that when some people want to go to see some persons, in quotes, maybe big men, they feel, okay, he has it all. She has it all. Why do I need to go and drop you know, a spoonful of water inside the river? The truth is, you might be surprised.
Yeah.
You just go to visit someone you consider very big. And as you're walking, there's this, you know, very nice aroma of food, you know, hailing you, welcoming you. And you have your little bottle of granules.
Yeah.
That person receives that granules much more than that food and tells you that, hey, do you know what? I haven't even eaten all day. And you're like, there's food here.
Yeah.
Nobody has served me. You know, a lot of times it happens. So I still think that we have a whole lot to build in the children, inculcating them to be able to give back.
I think the problem most people have, or the society has, is that they always expect the teachers to teach children what to do and what not to do. And I always say that the home you come from,
there you go,
it makes you who you are. I'm going to give an example of, I see some kids, because I work in children's church sometimes, and I noticed that the way we were brought up was that for Sunday, you have to prepare to give your offering. So I'm going to church, you know, holding my offering like my life depends on it.
Are you sure you didn't eat akara with it on the road?
No, my
Some
life.
people eat akara with it on the road.
No,
I didn't.
My life depends on it, and you know, you can't wait for offering time to give, and it's a pattern. So when you grow up, you now know that you have to prepare something for Sunday, not just go, because I see some kids, they just scribble the money, 15 naira, 20 naira, and I'm a bit saddened. I'm a bit saddened because their parents do that same thing. So kids,
they select even the bad money for God.
That's the problem. You know, the money that they said if they take out, they reject. That is what they now give to God. But you see, most of the time I don't blame the kids, because what do they tell me? My parents gave me. If you give to God, God understands whether it's bad or it's not bad. So the thing here is that you have parents who are not givers. You have parents who hoard. You have parents who, and you see, let me tell you, I always tell people, the kids, it's normal. And the kids go out and say, I cannot give. They said I shouldn't give. If I give, am I going to get back? And you see, that thing has followed us from nursery school to our normal lives, even working. And most of the thing I've studied with these people is that even in their workplace, they used to take in and not giving. And they always tell you, you know, I don't have. And it's a mentality that we have to change with our kids.
Transfer it to government.
My daughter,
everything.
One of my children traveled recently last year in the COVID, and she was stuck there. So she was walking, and her older sister, the elder one, said she wanted a phone. And so she's walking, so she should buy her a phone. So we got into that discussion. I started feeling, I'm the one that's working. I'm the one that's used to spending all my money. And I said to her, you don't say that. I gave them the example of, there's a story in the Bible that says, David went out to fight, and they all came back, and they had taken away all their families and everything they had. And so he took only a select number of his people to go up and fight. And they came back with everybody. And they came back with jewelry and a lot of things. When they came back, the people that went to fight, were angry because he wanted to share everything with the ones that didn't go. So the truth is that everybody has a part to play. And everybody should be rewarded, no matter what, once you have played a part. So don't think because I'm the one working. No. That's what we're talking about, family and children giving.
Yes.
So let them know that whatever you're doing, we're together. Because tomorrow it might be our own turn.
Yeah.
So let's learn from now as we're growing, like you said, as children, teach them that way. We're one. Yeah.
Also, we as parents are the models that our children follow after. So what we do, they watch. It is important. Even without saying, do this, do that.
Yeah.
They will watch you. Oh, that's what mommy does. She keeps her money behind. She doesn't give, she doesn't share. So it's the right thing to do. And, you know, I always like to give an example of a friend's son who, they live in a community, but of course they are privileged within that community. You know what the son did? He's a grown man now. You know what his son did? From the pocket money the parents gave him, he sponsored a local child to school.
Wow.
Without the parents
Right.
paid the WAEC exams. So when
wow.
the boy passed, the mother came to say thank you to my friend. And my
was
friend said,
surprised.
for what?
Oh dear.
Wow.
Sorry.
She didn't just do that. He watched the parents do it. And so it became to him
Yes.
the right
Yes,
thing
the
to
right
do.
thing to do.
Yes, you know, when you talk about school, I still get intrigued by what's your story, you know, as we shared off camera. A single man who is not in a particular environment going around to build schools for people.
Amazing.
Schools that,
Amazing.
you know, some of our politicians went through and it's dilapidated and they don't care. And they're giving us campaign promises. And at the end of the day, an individual who is not a Nigerian is
Not an African.
interested, not even an African. Can you share that story with
Oh,
us?
yes. The founder,
And if the director has a bit of a pictures before and
Yeah.
after the schools,
the
I'd like to.
founder of TX Foundation is Taiwanese. And I met the wife in an international women's group circle. And we became friends. So when they were going to start this foundation, she then approached me to, you know, represent them in Africa, because the man had spent a lot of money building clinics, building hospitals, schools in China. After finishing with China, he decided he wanted to focus on Africa. I tell you, my sisters, it's the same story all over Africa. Nigeria is not just, no, forget it. We are all the same. We have worked, like I said earlier, in over 40 countries. So you can imagine the number of schools we have built. In some countries, we did more than 1, 2, 3. Even in Abuja here, we built 2 schools. You know, and this man is only motivated by love.
Wow.
Love beyond borders.
Fantastic.
And what really motivates me, you know, what I learned from them is that they do not care whether the government of the countries they go do well, they just want to do, and they just continue to give. I remember in Niger, we passed through a thatched school that we're going to support, and not quite half a kilometer from that school was a mansion.
Can you imagine?
Huge mansion. You know, I felt
And
like
they see them
the
every
ground
day.
to open and I just disappear. You know,
to go into the boot of a
and
car.
and listen, my friend asked me, "Who owns this house?"
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know. Must be.
I don't want to know.
I said, well, she realized that I didn't really, it was a no-go area for me. And these are the kind of stories we see all over Africa. So giving is motivated by love. When we see our rich people around who don't give, they don't love. Because if you love, you will give.
You will give. That's a beautiful one.
Yes.
Because even the Holy Scriptures, all of them,
Always say
All
talk
of them
about it. It
about
says,
love.
if you love, you show it by giving.
You show it by
Yes.
giving.
Love
You
gives.
don't love
Love
with
gives.
mouth.
You see, what you just said now, and it's, you know, like they say, knowledge is power. And I love what you said, that giving is motivated by love.
It is.
I'm going to use my country as an example. People who give in Nigeria don't love. People who give here don't love.
So what motivates their own?
What motivates them is...
What do I get back?
Publicity.
Well, that's one. Publicity. What do I get back? Anything we do in Nigeria.
As a selfish
It's,
motive.
if I give, like the Bible says, givers never lack. But the problem with Nigerians is that maybe, I don't know, in quotes, some big man is having a book lunch or something, and they'll come and give you, that's where you see...
Everybody give it.
Yes, million.
They want to be identified.
They want to be identified. Even in that identity, they're telling you this is what they're given. But in real sense of the matter, they never give. But the thing here is that when it is announced, everybody is listening. Everybody is saying, wow.
Got their reward.
That's it. So the thing I'm trying to say now is that we give in the wrong places.
Right.
And for the ground.
We give in the wrong places.
Have you gone for a ceremony and they're announcing maybe like a people's presence and all of that? Somebody comes to the MC. You know, one time I happened to do MC for such a... They said, I just gave them 200,000. Announce my name now. You know, announce my name, 200,000. You know, at the end of the day, I'm like, this is a charity thing.
Yeah.
You see
Why
what
do
I
we
mean?
need to announce it?
So you see what I mean?
The motive is right.
Yeah, so when it comes to alma maters, I realize that most of these people who give in the open never even want to associate with their alma maters. I know it's the WhatsApp thing. It's a bit tiring because you have to do your college, your sets, the 5 sets, and all that. And we find out that, and I always tell people that you don't have to leave your alma mater on the WhatsApp. Just stay there because there's sometimes important discussions come up. So in those times, you should be able, because I think it's going to be frustrating for me to be calling everybody in my set, 200 people, this is what we want to do, this is what we want to do. But like I always tell people, visit your alma maters.
Yeah.
If you visit, then you will know the state of how your schools are. Because we did 35 years after our alma mater. I cried when I got to school. I cried. It's a pity that it's supposed to be run by the military. But like I told everybody, why do we have to wait for the military? If the military wants to do it, fine. But let us try to give back. Because that was where we got all the things
that you know now.
That I know now.
A lot of times,
it saddens my heart.
The secondary schools, primary schools are really very formative places for children.
Definitely.
University is just...
University is
you're already made.
Yes, you're already formed.
Yes.
So it's which is why I always insist the primary and secondary schools must be... And in giving back, really, you must not build a house.
No.
What I tell them is you could actually institute, even if it's a 20,000 naira award, you know, for overall best graduating students.
The children
you encourage them to read, you know, more. If we divert the kind of money we use for some of these things that are happening, reality shows, and we put them into these academic pursuits.
I was going to say that.
The children could begin to enjoy. I see a lot of rich people betting on social media. This person will win, the other person will not win, and all of that. And this has not been able to help our technological advancement in Nigeria. If we can push these things to the primary level, push these things to the secondary level, children in primary school, secondary could attempt to produce cell phones, computers, and all of that, because that's how China does it. So, but we are not thinking along that line, really. So I don't know where we all got it wrong.
I think it's society. I think it's society.
But so this Saturday, my alma mater, Queen's College, we have a walk.
Okay, that's why you're wearing your school uniform.
No. She says I look like a student today. No, but this is actually just my real age showing.
Okay,
My real age showing.
30 years.
Oh my God.
So it's the same day that I have my program, the Time Out Technique program.
Yes.
But what I want to say is
Time
that
out technique program.
yes, it's
You will have to tell us more about it.
so we have this walk, and it's a fundraising thing, and everybody says, how much are you going to give? But what we do in Queen's College is that, like, every set sort of gives back something. My set, when we did some years ago, we were turned 25 years after school. We went and we had wanted to do like the field or where we work out for exercise, do house sports, but we decided that we'd do the sick bay. Because when you go back, like you said, you go back and see, it's so really dilapidated. Probably still had the beds that were there when I was in school. We did it
bed?
totally. And put proper, industrial, mechanical beds. You know, we did the toilets. You know, secondary school is always about toilets.
No, it's about all.
So we did the toilets and
it's about toilets.
But what's you go back, like you said, you see.
Yeah.
Talking about toilets.
And
You have
everybody
to go
give
back
back. You
first.
don't have to say give 200,000
No.
or 1 million. If you can give 5 naira, that's fine.
It goes a
If you
long
can give
way.
$1 million naira, that's
Yeah.
fine. 100 million is good. Yes, we'll
Yeah.
probably have change. We'll use it for something next year.
Yes.
You know, but do something. Go back, see. When you see, you will feel it.
That's it. I
And
agree with
Hopefully, we have the love to feel.
you. Well,
But also, when you were saying that the military should do something,
yeah.
yes, the government, they should do something. The government, it's in their place. You know, it's their school, federal government colleges, military schools. They should do something besides looking at, it's just as important as repairing the roads. It's just as important as building houses for people
more.
to stay in. Because if you don't,
It's more
if
important,
the
right?
grounds, yes, if the grounds where you're standing up is lax, if it's soft, you're going to sink. So if you don't make these children their environment and their learning ability to be easy, to be fun, you know, to be something that they look forward to,
Yeah.
how do they learn?
No, growing up, when I was in school, growing up, I used to love to go back to school.
Okay, that's good.
Because,
Everything worked.
Yeah, because
I'm not sure that
everything.
we really
oh,
like
yes,
to-
because
now the people
luckily,
like to go to school. Now,
no,
but
luckily
then-
for us,
I'm not sure we really
luckily for us, I went to one of the commands. I went to Command Kaduna, and as at that time, I was the third set, so we didn't really have too many seniors. We didn't have too many people.
So that's why you wanted
So
to go
yeah, so it was fun. So that punishing and all that wasn't there then. But you see, the thing I learned when we went 35 years ago, I saw the kids. Look at their faces.
Yeah.
They were miserable. They were sad. Because the first things we did, luckily for most of us that went, were mostly women. And, you know, women were particular about kitchen. We're particular about the toilets. We're particular about where we eat. And, you know, we made up our minds then and said, look, you know what? Because I think the mistake they were doing was getting the money and giving it to the school. And most of the time, whether you like it or not,
Misappropriation.
misappropriation, they're not going to use it. They use it for what they want to use it or don't even use it at all. So we now decided that, you know what, every set picks what they would do.
Yeah.
And there's something that I even have some of my mates who are sponsoring underprivileged children. They will say, okay, give us the people who want to go to school. Can their parents afford it and all that? It's come a long, long way. In 2 weeks' time, my school is going to Port Harcourt, and they're giving awards to the people who have done very well for the school. And I think that is a fantastic motivation.
It's a very good one.
There's another type of giving back that I also love to talk about. It comes out of appreciation of what the community, institutions like old schools and people have done for you. But beyond that, the appreciation drives you to want to do the same thing for other people.
Yeah.
Right.
It's called paying forward.
Thank you.
Yes.
And when you pay forward, it forms a cycle.
True.
Right?
True.
Because the person you pay forward to becomes successful. In turn, he also pays forward. It becomes a cycle of success
they remember.
and then paying back. And the society is the better for it.
Yes.
So it's not about my family did for me, I must pay my family back. It moves away from your little cozy, comfortable environment, and it moves towards society order. Like FTX Foundation founder. And like the kind of thing we are also trying to do in Kindness to Kids Foundation, move into areas where there are needs. When those children become successful, they feel obliged.
I agree.
Not all of them will do that anyway.
Not
No,
all
not
of them, but at least some of them we have
Probably
that will
40%
do.
will.
Some
Yeah,
of them.
some of
But
them
if
will
just one
do.
person is okay.
All right, the kids, this thing, foundation.
Kindness to Kids, yes.
Kindness to Kids Foundation that you talked about. You have your project here in Nigeria as well.
Yes, we have pilot projects.
Okay. So
2 pilot projects in Ogun State.
Ogun State. Okay.
Yes.
Why Ogo?
Well, that's where we saw the need first. We are moving over Nigeria. We are
Okay,
going
so
to move
Nigerians,
across.
if you're watching,
Yes.
and there are schools in your area,
Please let us
that
know.
needs, to be rehabilitated,
Let us
you
know.
can send
come
us
to
the
the north.
name of the school.
To Elizabeth.
If our handle is there, send the name of the school and the area.
Pictures.
Even the pictures, yes. So send it to us via WhatsApp. We'll send it to Kindness to Kids Foundation. They will come in and look around and
see
assist
what
the
we can
school
do
I will
about
send
to
to
grow.
my school as well.
Okay, so and
That's a privileged school.
if your
We are
governor
looking
went
for
to that
public
school, will not help you. If your governor went to that school, will not help you. The governor should rebuild his own school.
I'm telling you. We are looking for public schools in underserved
Okay,
areas.
so seriously, you're out to help. So we're
Yes.
looking forward to Nigerians, sending in
Benefiting
pictures
from
and
that.
name of your
Yes,
schools
that would be
so that
kind.
you
That
can
would be
help
great.
them. But go ahead, tell us, you were sharing an experience before I cut in on what you were saying.
No, I was sharing about paying forward, and I think I've said more, all that there is. The important thing is that we need to encourage our young people to buy that culture of giving back onto others. I love a quotation from Mother Teresa.
Yeah, that's a nice one.
She said, "I'm a little pencil
Wow.
in the hand of a writing God
Oh,
who is writing a love story to the world."
Oh my God.
So why don't we pray that God makes us those little pencils in our little corners of the world so that we can make the world a better place than we met it?
All right, now you talked about different types of giving back, and probably this one is around your domain.
Okay.
People often think giving back is only for material things, and I always beg to differ a little bit. There are a lot of ways we can give back.
Yeah.
For instance, I could just be sad, I could be depressed, and I need somebody to talk to. And I come to you, you rebuff me. At the end of the day, I could commit suicide. You didn't help me. A little child who sees me carrying load. I see children of these days, young adults, they see you with load. When we were growing up,
They
I
taught
carry
you,
back for
yes.
street tire. When you're going anywhere, you see
Standing up
one
from the
woman.
seat for your older
Good
person,
morning, ma. You will carry the bag. When you still hand over, when you get to her doorpost, you hand over the bag. You still tell her, thank you, ma,
Exactly.
for letting you do that job.
No, but it still
But
starts from
children
the
will
house.
see you carrying bag now. They will even pass you. Assuming you're on a walkway, they will nearly push you down because they want to pass.
Oh, yes.
So I don't know, how do we begin to speak to them? Because even ordinary smile is giving back.
Yes, a smile
You
is
smile
back.
for somebody
Yes.
who has given you a thank you even.
You see,
somebody tells you,
for me, I love positive energy. I try to hang around people who have positive energy.
you have excess of it.
Because I just noticed that with what is happening in the world, it's depressing. So many people have mental issues.
That's a deep
And you know,
issue
the sad part here is we don't even know that we have an issue.
Yeah.
So if you don't know that you have an issue, how do you sort it out? But you see, I'm somebody who I give room to meet people. I'm friends with every kind of person. And there's some stories some people tell me. It breaks me. You know, it really breaks me. And the thing here is that it starts from the home as well. Because most parents think that the teachers will teach their kids how to love, how to care, how to give. But I don't think so. And you see, sometimes you notice that the kids from the rich homes are the more caring and sweet ones. Because you see, where you live, your environment makes you who you are. Growing up, I used to say I never liked people who come from polygamous homes. It was a mindset I had growing up. Because I noticed that all my friends who came from polygamous homes were in competition with you.
Oh, wow.
They always had a problem. I was not from that kind of environment. But you see, when I grew up, I now realized that it wasn't their fault. It was because of the environment they grew in. It now formed the kind of people they were.
Wow.
So I think sometimes it's...
What Joy is saying has to do with some of the things that I do. In life coaching, right, I have this theory I came up with, which is called RVC theory. It says reflect, visualize, create. Reflecting, first of all, we ask you questions that dig deep into you. And you start to think, where did all this come from? Where did you get these beliefs from? How did you become who you are today? What happened in your environment, which is what she's saying? How did the love around you? Did you get love? How do you feel around money?
Yeah.
You know, and what's your idea with recreation, education, things like that? Answer these questions yourself. So you have to dig within yourself. A lot of people don't like to think deep.
No.
Because they're ever scared of what they're going to see.
I agree.
So many times I tell people, when I start to ask you questions, I get people that get angry. They're either angry with me or angry with themselves. Because they say the truth in
you
where
don't
they're
want to
coming
get there.
from.
No.
You know, and the example that she gave about polygamy, it could work both ways. That's the truth, you know. Because it's a mindset you've put yourself to say, you know what, these people are from polygamous home, they will always be in competition with me. But somebody else might not be like that. But you already have that, so you're going to confront them that way.
Your coaching stuff, you have one this weekend?
This weekend, yes.
Okay.
It's on the 9th.
Oh,
Saturday.
Saturday
Is Saturday. Saturday is the 9th.
Okay.
It's at
Is it
Marriage
Abuja here?
in Abuja.
Yes.
Marriage
Okay, so I
House.
can
Yes.
attend.
Yes,
Yes.
please. Yes, please.
You said marriage, so it's not for...
Marriage. I said
Marriage
marriage house.
house.
Okay,
Merit
marriage
That's
house.
the
Yeah,
venue.
that's
I'll
the
go
venue.
there.
Marriage house.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Yes, and when we're talking about giving back, so I have people that sponsor, because like it's a paid event, but you know many people don't usually would like to pay for something that you're going to come and say, I'm going to ask you questions so that you can become who you.
Yes.
So I get people to sponsor.
Which
You
is
know,
fantastic.
and so that's another
part
thing
of
about giving back.
That's
In a way
part of
that
giving back.
that the next person doesn't even know you did it. I get some people who give me, send money and say, Tokes, please don't put my name. I said, but I always write names. I never put how much. He said, it doesn't matter. So, but then, like, this is like, pay
That's with
forward.
love. That's giving
Pay
with love.
forward. So you see the truth that all of
Yeah.
these things are connected.
Together.
So life coaching makes you realize that all of these things, positivity is so good. And with life coaching, you have to be authentic. So if you're authentic, then the next person realizes, oh, it's coming from a place of love. There's no pretense. Let me open up.
True.
And then the more you open up, the more you become real, the more you're able to do more and become more
deal
productive.
with the demons.
Yeah, exactly.
Because
more
they're
productive
demons.
with yourself, and you can give back to your society. Again, doesn't have to be giving back monetary. It can be in any way. Some time ago, just giving an example, I went to a school, a pastor's place, and they have this school, big place, and they teach, they bring in all the children to that society, as many as would want to come to school. And they charge the school fees 10,000 naira. More than half of the people cannot pay. I was so touched. I was thinking,
10,000
naira. How do you even pay your teachers?
Yeah.
So on my own, I didn't even tell the people. From me, I just put up on my WhatsApp. I say, please. And I put it as I have a fellowship that I said, we're asking you, please, as many as can give at least 10,000 naira.
That's it.
I don't want to know who you are. Send it straight to the school. I was so moved. These people, and we have churches. My church, my parent will be one of them. We have churches who have schools that you can't afford the school fees.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the schools were built with the funds of
it was so
the
painful.
church.
Yes.
It's very painful.
But this church has a school and is teaching so many, and the children are so happy they're running around. They are happily running around. And they're not stopping you when you don't pay that 10,000.
No, they're not.
It's sad. It's sad.
sad.
If we get
But
to
that's
know some of
reality.
these schools, I don't mind to volunteer to teach for free.
Yeah.
You know, once in a while when it happens. But let's
You
see.
see, that's giving.
So, yeah, I don't have
yeah.
money now, so
Exactly.
I can't.
Services,
Yes.
All right, so let's read a bit of messages from our viewers. So when I buy something for my child, like snacks, I will watch her share it with her friends. But when they have their own, my baby draws closer. They will refuse to give her, and she's painful seeing that. What do you do as a mother in the kind of situation? Becky from Lagos. Let me let you react to that.
No, just be yourself. Give.
Continue to give.
Just
Don't
continue
stop
to give.
giving.
All right.
They
good.
will learn from you.
True.
All right. The thing is, you give us never like you said.
No.
Don't and when you give in joy, you don't even notice if you're not given. That's
Yes.
the truth.
You don't.
That's the
exactly.
truth.
It's not, You
Yeah.
don't even think about it.
You don't.
Yeah.
All right. Good morning. I am Blessing. I just watched the program where you were discussing about helping some schools. There is a school where I live. Okay, your message just stopped halfway. Maybe you could complete it. Let's get to know what you are talking about. And the WhatsApp handle is filled up. I'm getting pictures. Well,
Trust Nigeria.
Interesting.
okay, so let's
Yeah.
just take one or two. Hi, good morning, Mas. Thank you very much for this program. I really enjoyed. Please, my community needs your help in our school, which I will send pictures
Yeah.
on this. Like,
Beautiful.
okay, thank you. It's from Edo State. When you're sending the picture, let's know the exact community.
Community,
You know,
yes.
so I can help us easily reach you. Someone asked here, can I send a picture of my alma mater in case of help, no matter how small? All right, and I already said yes, you can.
Is it for
And,
building? Are you building or are you just
No, the
helping?
build as
All right,
well.
so
building, right?
Yeah, the build,
a
which
whole
is
lot
very
of them
good.
are actually
I
sending
know
the
that's what's
same.
going to be in your.
Honestly,
your
a whole
inbox
lot of
today.
them I'm
It's about
opening and
building.
opening and opening.
I think
And
you
all
should
of them
even
are
do
sending
more of the
pictures
girl-
and
I think the north. I think you should look more into the north
Oh, we
and
will
the
look
girl
into the north,
and the
yeah.
girl child as well.
okay.
We are, that's
Yes,
it's part of
yeah,
our program.
yeah.
We are not just looking about
but the
education.
girl
We're looking at the
child.
holistic,
Holistic.
you know, of the
Yeah.
of the of the, of the,
Very
of the child.
important.
All right.
Their legal
I-
rights, their
child.
health, their
Yeah.
You
the
know-
issue of child marriage, for instance.
Yeah.
We know it's a
Mm.
cultural issue. It's
Yes,
very sensitive.
that's
Very
level.
But
sensitive.
let the child go to school.
Let her
Yeah.
go to school.
And let her be physiologically ready for pregnancy. That's
yes.
all.
That's a
It
big point.
happens.
You can
Because
marry
knowledge
early.
is power. When
You
you
know,
go
in
to school,
India-
you'll be taught certain things.
in
so
India-
knowledge is power.
They go into their husband's house from as early as age 6.
Please, let's not say that.
No.
Just
They
so
do,
scary.
but they
6.
do not have any relationship with the
Okay,
man. She's
okay.
brought up in the home.
Oh, right. So they just know where
And then
they
when
are.
it is time, it
It
is
doesn't
still child
work. It
marriage. It is
cannot
still
work
not
here.
right. It is still not.
Me,
It
I'm
doesn't make
still
it right.
thinking age
But
6.
I'm
Do I
saying
know
that
that man?
That's
What if I
scary.
grew up to
Does-
20
does
and I
it
don't
not-
want to marry
No,
him?
it doesn't.
You're
It can't work
a
here.
toddler, not even just a
No,
kid.
it
It
can't
can't
work.
work here. You mean they will mess up the child?
Oh, definitely.
Are you?
Oh, dear.
Are you not in Nigeria?
I'm in Nigeria.
Okay.
I'm very much in Nigeria.
Because I see.
But if the child is under care,
Do you know
things.
people
No,
that
no.
people
There's
who
no
have,
justification.
No.
there's no
There's
justification.
no
Of course, I
justification
know
for
that.
doing
But I'm
that.
just saying, I
No,
just
but you
gave that
see,
example
there
to
are
know that.
sometimes-
So why don't
there
they
are
move
some
the boys
cultural-
into homes where
Into homes.
anything, no,
Where
that's
they-
what-
the
where they
mother
marry
is-
them.
Instead they're
I
marrying
know.
into this.
I know, agree that one.
All right, let's
No,
not.
I just gave an example of India. I'm not
So
saying
we're
it's
going to
possible
move to
here.
another level.
You can-
There's a process now. There's a process. Okay, but
There's a
still moving back into
Does it not happen even
our
now?
giving back.
Yes.
It's really important for me because a lot of times we always expect and we never give. In our work areas, for instance, what ways, it's office time now, so what ways can we begin to give back, without being, without people being conscious of it, so to speak. For instance,
okay.
Go ahead.
Okay, like for me, I like to talk to people. I like to really talk to people because people are going through stuff.
A lot.
They can't pay house rents. You see, I always tell people that Instagram is a lie.
Yes, definitely.
Very true.
It's a big lie.
That's why they shut it down. the other day.
You know, it's and I noticed that people
Social
want to
media
people
generally.
want to be like this other person. I always tell people, you can droop in diamonds. I can droop in my banda and I still look good. So I noticed that most of the time people are withdrawn, people are going through stuff, people can't pay medical bills and all that. So if you have a friend and you talk a lot, or just give her the open Don't always form, because I think the biggest problem most friends of mine have is that they always form they're too busy. Create time for people. If you create time for people, people will try to open up to you. And one thing I always tell people, if people open up to you, do them a big favor and keep their secrets.
Thank you. It's important. Even in the office area, I tell a lot of people, I may not be very good at that because I don't remember names very much. But I try to, substitute by giving you my own name. When I see you the first time, the impression you make in my head, I give you that name. I remember I call you my diva. So the impression that cuts to my head, definitely that gives you the name for me. If you call people, identify people by their names, it has a way of taking away something. Bosses will be with you, and when they are talking to you, what's your name again? That kind of a thing. It tells the person, I don't mean anything. I don't add value to a large extent because my boss does not even know my name.
So productivity is going to be zero.
It's going to drop.
So what we can do, another thing we can do, work area, is giving feedback. You come here with your file, and of course it's probably not done, but you're like, before you shout, what rubbish is this? You look at it and say, okay, did you do this yourself? Oh, really? Okay, so what was the work I gave you? All right, so is there another way you could have packaged it? And so the way you the approach, the first few things you say throws the person off or builds the person up.
Yeah.
So which one do you want to do? So the words that you speak, so if you just throw the person off, you're not going to do it right the next time.
No, you're not going to do it.
That's what we're talking about. You're building the strength as opposed to focusing on the weakness. So let the person know, oh, you did this, okay, so what did I really tell you to do again? Because definitely from what I can see, they have done rubbish. But I'll just ask you, so what did I really tell you to do again? Oh, all right, okay. But do you think that you could have done it in this other way? Or do you want to go back and look over something? Because the way we talk to people, it's like what you were talking about. So besides just listening to them, but what you're saying to people, because the face will just drop immediately.
Honestly.
And I think we should try and do first name basis.
That's also culture. That's culture, though.
Yeah, because if I call you, because I've worked in certain places that the man tells you first name, but it's the first name, but
he's the boss.
He's the boss. You know the line not to cross.
Yes.
That would be difficult.
Yeah, so that's why I say that it's a culture thing. I mean,
what you're saying would make a lot of sense, but in Nigeria,
yeah, exactly, that's culture.
It's a bit difficult.
Yes,
because
it depends on the kind of job.
A lot of people, when you give them the liberty to call you, oh, Joy, and leave the auntie on top of it, the next time now, Joy, I beg, back away.
But you know
that
me,
kind of a thing.
I don't call names. I talk.
So at the end of the day, I may not want to really encourage that.
Yeah. I worked in a place where we called first name basis. I mean, but it's a small organization, and it took me some time because I wasn't used to it. But like you said, you know who the boss is, But then on the other hand, in our culture, I'm not really big on auntie, uncle, sister, brother. But I have two things. I have a friend, an in-law, who said to me once, oh, Tokumbo, your mom is how old? This is some years ago. She just turned 50. Your mom just turned 50. So how old are you? You can't be calling me by name. I was like, okay, sorry. How can I call you?
Especially the Yoruba.
However, I have a friend of mine who calls me about 8 years. Yoruba. Definitely Yoruba. I have a friend who calls me by name. She's about 8 years younger than I am. No big deal. She's not even Nigerian. We went out some time ago. Now, I'm not into name calling and things, but I'm very big on respect.
Yeah.
And I don't really care. You can talk to me anyhow, play with me, but there's, like you said, know who is who. And we went out one day, and I was trying to correct her for something. And she did a finger thing to me. Shit. First of all, I did not really understand what the finger meant. Maybe it's my generation. So she now comes back to me, and she's shouting at me and telling me, you're a bully. How can you? I'm like, I was confused. Is it me you are talking to like this? So I thought, okay, there's no need. Maybe it is me that has let you feel. So sometimes when you do something, some people don't know the line, where to draw the line, So and our culture, besides Nigeria, African, We're not used to it.
Yes, that's why I said let's not go there. But let's see. Lots more reactions coming up. Good morning, Maz. I appreciate you for this wonderful program. Women are solutions to questions and answers to problems. Keep it up. I will later send you some pictures of our delegated school. Thank you very much. We're waiting for the pictures. And please
Nobody
don't
sending
forget
sponsors. So you can sponsor time out
forget
technique.
to send your... Don't forget
Giving
to
back.
send your the name of a school too. Okay. Many more
Pictures
here
and
are
names.
still talking about sending school. They said there's nothing inside the school. So
Oh dear.
if you're ready with it, and you can also send.
this school I'm
Please,
talking
I
about
want
is
to
well
go to
equipped
school,
though.
but my parents
Everything is
don't
inside,
have
but
money to send me to
10,000
school.
naira.
I need help.
That thing is so
Please,
painful.
we can't even pay our house rent.
People can't pay.
All right, if you want to go
This
to
one said
school
they cannot
and
pay house
you didn't
rent.
tell your name, you didn't tell anything, how do we identify who you are? So when you're writing, please let's know who you are in full. I am
Yes.
Ken by name from Lagos.
There you go.
This why Nigerian government is not serious about. All right, we said we don't want to discuss government.
No, we don't want to
Uh,
discuss
so
government.
we're not
If we
discussing-
discuss government, we won't live here
Government can't do
today.
it
So we're not going to leave. It's your own personal help
Yeah.
Yes.
to your own school. My name is Okochi Nonso from Afripo local government area, and
correct.
precisely name of a school is Akpo Primary School. Thank you, mothers. Thank you too. But send us pictures. Let's be sure that that school really needs
Needs help.
help. Okay,
Because we
a whole
do a
lot.
needs assessment.
Yeah.
A whole
it's
lot
very
is still
important.
happening here. Someone says here, God bless you, women, real good. I learned a lot from this program this morning, and good morning.
Thank
I'm
you
very
too.
happy I listened to your program this morning. Okay, a whole lot of people are sending their schools, their pictures.
Definitely. That's
I
what's
can't
gonna come.
I can't really take all of that. Later on, I'm going to push all of this. While you're sending these things, it's important the picture of the school,
Yes.
the
The
location,
location, yeah.
the
Contact
name,
person.
and the contact person's details,
Yes.
like name and phone number, so that they can reach you with time. If it's not like that, we may not be able to get to you. And I'm telling you, they are ready to spread out to a whole of Nigeria, to help out. But I told you, if your senator went to that school, if your governor went to that school, there'll
There's
be
no
no
need.
help. They should be able to do it themselves. It's true.
Yes.
All right, so before we leave, I still want to insist on giving back, not necessarily money. Other ways we can encourage. We've talked about helping out physically. Within our environment, we've talked about workplaces, within our homes, within our living environments. How do we begin to give back?
I have people that come to work with me. We all have people that come to work with us. And I always ask you, what's your plan for after 2 years? Because first of all, you work with me. After 1 year, I'm already tired of you. I'm sorry to say. So I want to know, what is your plan? And how can I help you? So sometimes you have people in your house that they want to go to school. Encourage them. Because they probably couldn't go. That's why they're working with you. Okay, I want to learn how to make hair. Put them in that position. So
But
I tell you.
some mothers are just crazy. You pick somebody's child who is 18 years old, and the person becomes the nanny, and the person does not go to
Stays
school.
with over the
He
years and
stays
does
with you
nothing.
for
Yeah,
6
yeah.
years,
For
5
what?
years, 10
No,
years,
exactly.
and you're very
Yeah,
comfortable.
no.
That's wickedness.
You know, growing up,
Give back to the
Give
person.
back, yes.
You know what I always say, and I've always said it, that I think we were lucky. We had privileged parents who we learned a lot of things, because anything I try to do, I still go back to my parents. One thing my father used to say is that anybody that comes into your home, the person should not leave your home
The same, exactly.
the same way
Yeah,
he came.
yeah.
Sure.
And we've picked people who were 5 years, because the thing here is that there are little things that kids love. And if you stay in a certain place, we're staying in a Butameta, LSPDC, and there was this little girl, but they never used to cook. So there were grandkids together who they were always starving. But my mom loved to cook. So she would come and say, Mommy, because she was just a sweet little girl. And my mom,
Innocence.
all her kids had gone to school. The girl would say, Mommy, can I have some? And that was how my mom fell in love with her. You will not believe it. The lady said, anywhere my mom was going, my mom should make her a promise that she was going to take her. When my parents were leaving Lagos, she went and reminded my mom. We brought her to Abuja. today is history. I'm super proud because she's graduated. She's working. The Megad in the house as well. We have so many stories.
Yeah.
And you know,
And
if you help
yeah.
your domestic,
Yeah.
workers,
Yeah.
become human beings, and so you're actually enlarging your family.
Yeah.
Your
in-
network.
No, it's
Yes.
family. They have become,
They have become family.
They have turned family.
My parents, my dad
Yeah.
was in the army, and the guy that was his MA, or what do you call him, Oddly,
Yeah.
not MA, he put him through university,
Yeah.
NDA. He's a full red-colored military guy
So
now.
he's a redneck guy.
Yeah, redneck.
Yeah.
My parents had a girl in their house who's graduated from university now. She's doing NYC. I have a girl who worked with me that I put in catering school, Yetkem. I don't know if you remember
Yeah,
Yetkem.
how can I forget Yetkem?
She graduated from Yetkem, and it was a big deal because I went for the graduation.
Ah.
And she's married today. She has a son. She's, and it's like that.
It's
So
super.
that's beyond money.
It excites me.
That's
part of
beyond
the
money.
No,
That's
excites
building.
Yeah.
Building.
Yes.
You were talking about
Building a community
building. Yes.
of
Yes.
people.
No, it makes the
Who now?
community
It
better, because
enlarges
you see the
the
good thing
community.
with the guy that was our Megad. He excited us. Why? He even married an Igala girl. He's a northerner. Because I think what endeared him to an Igala person was that I lived with these people. This is how they are. So let me try and see if I can get an Igala girl who can be like them. It's a mindset.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's a
Yeah.
mindset. I lived with a girl who told the mom that whatever happens, that she must marry from my place. And
Because of her
incidentally,
experience.
two of them really.
Yeah.
At the end of it, they're not Igbos, but they not just married Igbos. They also
married
married from my village.
Oh wow.
You see how it works.
Positive
Yes.
influence is very important.
Very
Our
important.
time is almost up. Let's see if we can just take one question here. The caption of the program really kept me glued on the TV, giving back to the society. I see the caption as one of the major challenges in the country. Many don't like giving back, because when you look at some of the alma maters in this country, you cry despite prominence. People that went through it. It is in my mind to give back to the alma mater. I may not take this, it's quite an episode. The name of your school, you say Central School Omaro 2 in Isialambano local government area. And your phone number is also here. We'll reach you much more later. Just one sentence, to reassure the public, the watching public, that we're not joking. We're actually coming to build their schools.
Oh. We cannot build every
school.
school that we get.
Yes.
But one promise I can give is that we do it one school at a time.
Okay, so
It will get
that's
to everybody's turn one time or the other.
All right,
God
great.
helping us.
Reassurance. Tux, I know your event is this weekend. Can you give us a promise that when we come there, we're going to be, cancelled in the right way?
Spellbound.
Yes. You're going to answer questions that will make you think. And from there, you will realize things that you need to handle in your life, and you will become a better you.
Super.
Excellent. Okay. Hi, my lady.
Yes, madam. Give us never lack. So we should try and change our thinking. And it's not about, like she said, I learned something today. You give out of love.
Not out of, identification and, stuff like that. All right, the show is ready at the end of it. And I want to give all of us an assignment today. Before you close your eyes to sleep today, ask yourself, was I able to give out to someone, even if it's just one person, no matter what it is? I have sweet on my table. I'm going to share it one by one and make sure everybody gets. All right, so I'll see you again next week. Give us never lack. Bye.
Bye.
Hello and welcome to Strictly Speaking. We're looking at the English language, the way we write, the way we speak, and the words we choose.
We have to come to the realization that we need help. A lot of people, or a lot of my clients who come to me, don't even want to be seen with me.
But it's not a failing. That's what people don't seem to get. Speak the right words. Think the right thoughts, because the good book says, as a man thinketh, so is he.
If you look at the African language, it is tonal. So many of our languages are tonal.
Absolutely.
And you hear it when the people talk.
Hello, this is the network service of the NTA. Welcome to the News at 10 on NTA News 24, reaching you live from Abuja. I am Musbat and we'll have the headlines. Political and economic stability. Nigeria and German government €1 billion financing bilateral agreements as European Union grants €15 million to Nigeria Energy Support Program. House of Representatives urges drastic measures to combat acts of terrorism in Anambra State. Southeast governors move to end incessant killings and further sit-at-home orders in the Southeast region. Thanks a lot for staying tuned in. The federal government signed a €101 million financing bilateral agreement with the Republic of Germany. Neka Oko report that the funds for various development programs in the country.
The signing agreement is the climax of a two-day government negotiations held virtually between both countries in Abuja and Bonn. Nigeria and Germany have agreed on three core areas of cooperation, namely sustainable economic growth, food security, and renewable energy.
Furthermore, it is pertinent to mention that these various interventions across sectors and the proposed spend align successfully with this administration's developmental priorities and the ongoing National Development Plan, with the vision to catalyze the potential of the public, private, and social sectors to stimulate industrialization and inclusive growth.
So we agreed on new projects that are focusing on peace building and conflict prevention, stabilization, supporting refugees and also host communities in the northeast, but also in the Middle Belt in Nigeria.
The €101 million Economic Cooperation Agreement is intended for 2021 and 2022. In Abuja, Neka Oko, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the European Union has granted additional €15 million to strengthen its assistance to the Nigerian Energy Support Program towards ensuring an enabling environment for renewable energy and energy efficiency in the country. Adebola Brookslyn Sunday reports.
The Nigerian Energy Support Program has been in operation in the country since 2013 for the promotion of investment in Nigeria's domestic markets for renewable energy energy efficiency, and to improve access to electricity for the disadvantaged, mostly in the rural communities. It is in a bid to ensuring more impacts on Nigerians that the co-funders are extending the grants with additional 15 million euro, making a total of 35 million euro, which will take the project to 30th November 2022.
We will continue to prioritize the objectives of renewable energy, climate change, as well as the goal of economic diversification and creation of decent jobs.
Especially when we look into the recycling of waste that comes out of renewable energy sites. And one core area that we want to go deeper into is recycling of batteries.
So far, about 3,000 settlements and 2.6 million buildings have been remotely mapped, with over 50,000 kilometer electricity grid tracked in 22 states.
We are targeting 130,000 Nigerians having access to electricity, and we are talking about people that have never had.
The Nigerian Energy Support Program, in partnership with the German Corporation for International Cooperation, GIZ, is a technical assistance program co-funded by the European Union and the German government in collaboration with the Federal Ministry of Power. Adebola Brooksland Sunday, NTA News.
As part of efforts to acquaint the judiciary with the philosophy and thrust of the Petroleum Industry Act, particularly the most contentious areas, the Petroleum Technology Development Fund is in collaboration with the National Judicial Institute has organized a two-day workshop for justices and judges. In Abuja, Lydia Sampson reports.
The passage of the Petroleum Industry Act is seen as a new reality in the transformation of Nigeria's oil and gas sector. As the industry is transiting to the PIA implementation, the workshop with the theme, Petroleum Industry Act, New Legal and Physical Regime in the Nigerian Oil and Gas Industry, is taking note of the role of justices and judges as critical stakeholders in the implementation. Minister of State Petroleum Resources, Timipre Silva, expects that given the national and international interest the PIA has generated, the judiciary's dockets will soon be populated by cases on how the law should be operationalized.
The participation and cooperation of every stakeholder is required and actively solicited. The law can have the desired multiplier effect on the economy, investments, infrastructure, employment, the environment and well-being of the citizens only when we all work together to bring into existence the state of affairs within our expectations.
The Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Ibrahim Tanko Mohammed, says the theme of the workshop is not only apt but captures the essence of the gathering. He urged justices and judges to further use the platform to build capacity on relevant laws governing the oil and gas sector, adding that the judiciary is not oblivious of the fact that the implementation of the PIA might provoke conflict in the areas of implementation.
This will require a judicial officer to have a proper grasp of this new legislation. Consequently, this workshop will bring to the front burner the imperatives for correct judicial interpretation of the Petroleum Industry Act. This would boost the development of our national economy.
For the Executive Secretary, Petroleum Technology Development Fund, Bello Aliu Gusau, the workshop is to help in the realization of objectives of the PIA while deepening understanding of the Act, which overhauls the legal and regulatory framework of the Nigerian petroleum industry, as well as clarifies the rules of engagement for the monetization of the nation's valuable hydrocarbon resources. In Abuja, Lydia Sampson, NTA News.
The federal government says it is ready to extend a helping hand to South Sudan towards enhancing the country's political and economic stability. President Muhammadu Buhari gave the assurance while granting audience to the South Sudanese leader President Salva Kiir in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. State House correspondent Ada Musambo report that the president has since returned to Abuja.
President Muhammadu Buhari said the full support of Nigeria will be given to all efforts towards bringing long-term stability and prosperity to the continent as well as the development of South Sudan. He asked President Salva Kiir to take Nigeria into confidence in his request for assistance, stressing the need for cooperation amongst developing countries. The Nigerian leader said with investments in education, improved economy and healthcare, things will surely improve. On the situation in Guinea and Mali, President Buhari reiterated the need for African leaders to support efforts geared towards the return of democracy in the countries. President Salva Kiir had earlier acknowledged Nigeria's leadership role in Africa, appreciating the country's efforts in the liberation struggle of South Sudan.
He went back a memory lane and highlighted all the support that Nigeria has provided to South Sudan and continues to, and thanked Mr. President very much for it. He gave a situation report of not just what's happening in South Sudan, but also in Sudan itself, and even the role that he is playing as a mediator now in Sudan. And together they agreed that there was a need to work together to address the security challenges in West Africa and in East and Central Africa. Another point he mentioned was also the role that the First Lady of Nigeria is playing in supporting orphans in South Sudan, and asked Mr. President to extend his thanks to the First Lady for that.
Meanwhile, President Muhammadu Buhari has returned to Abuja from Ethiopia, where he attended the inauguration of Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed for a second term in office. He was received on arrival at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport by his Chief of Staff, Professor Ibrahim Gambari, FCT Minister Muhammad Musa Bello, Inspector General of Police Usman Alkali Baba, and the Director General, Department of State Services, Yusuf Magaji Bichi. In Abuja, Ada Musambo, NTA News.
Now let's get to the National Assembly, where the Senate has confirmed the nomination of 5 persons for appointments as Secretary and members of Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC. National Assembly correspondent Ignatius Nkwo reports.
Implementation
Plenary commenced with the presiding officer, the Deputy President of the Senate, Ovie Omar Gege, reading letters from President Muhammadu Buhari. One of the letters seeks Senate consideration of the 2022-2024 revised medium-term expenditure framework and fiscal strategy paper, which has increased federal government 2022 aggregate expenditure from 13.98 trillion naira to 16.45 trillion.
The PIA establishes a progressive fiscal framework. This significantly alters the oil and gas fiscal terms and has necessitated changes in the 2022 to 2024 medium-term fiscal framework.
The President is likely going to submit the budget to the National Assembly on Thursday. It is important that these revisions are made.
President Buhari also requested the confirmation of Justice Hussaini Baba Yusuf as Chief Judge for the High Court of the Federal Capital Territory. Thereafter, Senate considered the report of its Committee on Anti-Corruption and Financial Crimes, which screened 5 nominees as Secretary and members of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. The report presented by the chairman of the committee, Suleiman Abdukwari, observed that the committee members were satisfied with the nominees' qualifications and suitability. George Ekungu as Secretary, with Lukman Muhammad, Anumba Adeze, Kola Adeshina, and Yahaya Mohammed as board members.
The Senate, we wish to recommend that the Senate do confirm the nomination of the underlisted persons.
Senate has passed the Tertiary Hospital Development Fund Establishment Bill, sponsored by Senator Sani Musa. The bill seeking to amend the compulsory treatment and care for victims of gunshots to expand its scope and establish medical emergencies assistance, sponsored by Senator Oluremi Tinubu, passed second reading.
Security agents and persons alike shall render every assistance to persons with gunshot wounds, etc.
If you get a criminal who is injured and you say you won't treat him, let him die,
It dies with an information that would have helped the security agencies.
The River Basin Development Authority Act Amendment Bill, sponsored by Senator Ike Ekweremadu, also passed second reading. From the National Assembly, Ignatius Nkwo, NTA News.
This is Venice at 10 on NTA News 24. When we return from this break, Southeast governors move to end incessant killings and further sit-at-home orders in the Southeast region. Join us again. Thanks a lot for staying tuned in. The House of Representatives Committee on National Security and Intelligence wants emerging trends in the world of crime and criminals to be treated comprehensively as curricular and security-related training institutions. The Chairman, House Committee on National Security and Intelligence, Sharada said this during an oversight to the National Institute of Security Studies, Abuja. National Assembly correspondent Lami Ali reports.
The issue was raised by Representative Chris Azubogu, who escaped death by the whiskers last week Thursday. But one of his drivers was not as lucky, as he was shot dead following an attack on their convoy along Newi-Nobi Road. The House noted recent killing of Dr. Chike Akunyili, husband of late Dora Akunyili, and 8 others in the suburb of Onitsha, including the attack on the DSS and FRSC offices in Nnewi last Sunday, 3rd October 2021.
These killings are probably orchestrated by mischief makers who are bent on causing tension and panic in the state ahead of the upcoming November 6th governorship election in Anambra State.
In another development, Representative Roland Igbakpa, coming under matter of privilege, has called on the federal government to make public name of the National Assembly member said to be involved in sponsoring terrorism.
The leadership of the House should liaise with their counterpart in the Senate to try and see Mr. President so that he can tell you, one, the person that is sponsoring terrorism among the 469 members. Then two, he should go ahead because he has the powers of prosecution to prosecute that person.
At the commencement of plenary, House Speaker Femi Gbajabiamila read a presidential communication requesting consideration and approval of the revised medium-term expenditure framework and fiscal strategy paper 2022 to 2024.
The revision was necessitated by the need to reflect the new fiscal terms in the Petroleum Industry Act 2021, as well as other critical expenditures in the 2022 budget.
3 bills passed second reading. A bill to make provisions for right to food, sponsored by House Chief Whip Mohammed Tahir Mungunu. A bill to establish Food Vendors Data Agency from Yunus Abubakar, and a bill seeking to amend Federal University Ikwo, sponsored by Chinedu Oga.
It is inherently contradictory for the Constitution to guarantee the right to life. On the other hand, woefully fail to provide the right to food.
10 bills passed first reading, including a bill to amend the National Broadcasting Commission Act and the Trade Dispute Act. From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA News.
Right, that was a report by Lami Ali on the adoption of resolution urging authorities to take urgent and drastic measures to combat elements terrorizing people in Anambra State. And now let's return to this story where the House has also of the House Committee on National Security and Intelligence wants emerging trends in the world of crime and criminals to be treated as comprehensively as curriculars in security-related training institutions. Lami Ali again reports.
Capacity building for personnel of the various security agencies in the country is of priority. The House Committee on National Security and Intelligence stressed that development in the world of crime has put security operatives to task, adding that considering these challenges, training institutions must impart to trainees knowledge that will put them steps ahead of criminals.
It is the committee's conviction that if these expectations are met, a large number of ridiculous security gaps will have been addressed. The Institute is therefore expected to train and retrain our security operatives on scientific and modern investigative techniques.
Leadership of the Institute said collaboration is among effective strategies to clamp down on criminals at the stage of planning.
This year we're having about 24 agencies of government. The military, the police, the custom, everybody is here. So we expect that in the next 3 years, they should be heading their agencies. And this is what collaboration, synergy. We don't need to wait for me to write to your agency to respond to any security challenge.
Those attending this EIMC program, when they finish, they go to University of Ilorin to complete that, because most of our programs are tailored with that of University of Ilorin.
NISS was first established as a training school and upgraded to an institute in 2019 by an act of the National Assembly. Lami Ali, NTA News.
The Inspector General of Police Usman Alkali Babas ordered the immediate posting of a new Commissioner of Police to Anambra State. The new CP, Echeng Eworo Echeng, takes over from CP Tony Olofu, who has been redeployed to the force headquarters Abuja. The IGP has also ordered the deployment of a detachment of the police special forces to Anambra State to bolster the complement the ongoing peace-building efforts of the Nigeria Police Operation Restore Peace in Anambra State. A statement by CP Frank Mba, Force Public Relations Officer, Force Headquarters, says the IGP, who is particularly concerned with the renewed incident of attacks on innocent individuals and symbol of state authority in the state, ordered the new Commissioner of Police to mobilize both kinetic and non-kinetic law enforcement in crime-fighting approaches to reverse the negative trend, reclaim public spaces from hoodlums, and restore public peace in the state. CP Echeng, until his appointment, was the Commissioner of Police in charge of Bayelsa State. The IGP charged the new police chief to work with other stakeholders and patriotic forces in Anambra State to restore law and order, leveraging on his professional experience. The IGP also called on people of Anambra to support and cooperate with the new Commissioner of Police in his task of protecting the lives and property of all. His posting is with immediate effect. And with barely 1 month to the Anambra governorship election, INEC is worried over the escalating security situation in the state. In order to provide a secured environment for the exercise, the Interagency Consultative Committee on Election Security is reviewing its strategies. INEC Chairman Professor Mahmoud Yakubu is, however, optimistic that no amount of threat will deter the Commission from conducting the election.
The stated goal of many of the attackers is that the governorship election scheduled for the 6th of November 2021 must not hold. This is worrisome for the Commission. We are deeply concerned that specific electoral facilities and materials could once more become targets of attack. We will continue to work with the security agencies and in consultation with respected opinion leaders in Anambra State and the National Peace Committee to ensure that these hit-and-run attacks do not derail the electoral process. We wish to assure the people of Anambra State that the Commission is determined to proceed with the election as scheduled.
I wish to state that the Office of the National Security Advisor is working assiduously with relevant security and intelligence agencies toward arresting the foregoing ugly trend
and other associated security challenges in the Southeast zone and beyond.
Minister of Interior Rauf Aregbesola was among those in attendance. The governors and leaders of the Southeast zone have condemned the sit-at-home order and killings in the zone, resolving to join hands with the security agents to stop the incessant killings and further sit-at-home orders in the Southeast. This was contained in a communique issued at the end of a security meeting by the leaders of the zone in Enugu. Susan Eze has the reports.
Rising from the meeting necessitated by the urgent need to salvage the Southeast zone from the increasing rate of insecurity and disruption of free movement of people and economic activities, the governors and Southeast leaders totally condemned the acts and agreed to support the security agencies to restore peace in the Southeast.
The meeting condemned the sit-at-home orders, which are mostly issued by our people in diaspora who do not feel the pains. In view of the information, the meeting resolved that governors and all the people of the Southeast do everything within the law to ensure that there is no further sit-at-home in Southeast and that people are allowed to freely move about in the zone. The meeting agreed that Southeast Abuja security outfit be launched in all the Southeast states.
The Southeast governors and leaders also resolved to support the coming election in Anambra State and urged the security agencies to ensure a peaceful election in the state come November 6, 2021. The meeting received the committee reports from the Ohanese Ndibo on various matters affecting the zone and resolved to study them for immediate implementation and engagement with the federal government for amicable settlement of all issues agitating the minds of the people. Commending the religious and other groups for interfacing with the youths, the leaders encouraged the groups to continue to dialogue with the youths in the interest of peace. In Enugu, Susan Eze, NTA News.
All right, so we get to hear more on the updates from that meeting in just a moment. Let's take a break on the news at 10. We'll return shortly.
Let's blow your trumpets. Advertise on NTA News 24, located at the headquarters premises of the NTA, Area 11, Garki, Abuja. Our rates are affordable. Our reach is far and wide. We are on DSTV channel 419, Star Times channel 101, Go TV channel 46, Free TV channel 703.
Broadcast activities of the Nigerian Senate, Federal House of Representatives, and all the 36 state houses of assembly. NTA Parliament, strengthening Nigeria's democracy.
Fellow compatriots, if no single tribe or religion has defeated poverty, then no single tribe or religion can develop Nigeria. The success story of every state and capital is the contribution of every tribe and religion. Our Nigeria no be wazobia. No majorities or minorities. Every tribe and every religion still dey hustle for naira when no get tribe or religion. So, my country people, let's join this movement that says naira no get tribe and use the naira to develop our Naira land. Citizens first. Citizens before state of origin. Citizens before your religion. Citizens before your ethnic belonging. For participation, call 0902 739 5555.
NTA, you can't beat the reach.
Old saying that the picture is worth 1,000 words reflects the powerful effect that the art and creative expression has on human understanding and